All right. Welcome to this episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Darrin Bedford, and today I have a special guest, Falona. She is the only person this far on my grief journey that I've met who actually got some form of what we can consider justice because her son's murderer was convicted and got 100 years. So today we're gonna talk to her and see exactly how that feels. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing? Don't clam up now. We were just
I'm
having a good
okay.
conversation.
I'm okay. Just you know, it's been a long road.
So
Long road, very long.
we can start wherever you want to start from.
Um, well, for starters, Emari was my only child. Um, he was everything. Everything that I wanted him to be. He was that son. Loving, caring, goofy, just like me. Like he has a lot of my traits. But to lose him, July 14, 2022, it changed everything about me. Everything. I'm trying to get back to kind of who I was before. I'll never be that woman again. However, um, I had to stay strong for my parents. You know, Emari and my father was like this. You saw one, you saw the other. Very, very, very close. My son's father wasn't really in the picture like that, which is okay.
Yeah.
But I know that my son was missing that part. And I think that's where my father stepped in and he played a major role in Imari's upbringing. My dad been through some things in his life. So I think he was a reason why my son never went to prison. So my son wasn't a street kid. He wasn't out there like that. He did rap. He
Yeah.
has several videos on YouTube and all that, and he's talking about some things that he didn't live.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it real, but he was the type of kid that even though he was saying certain things and displaying a certain behavior on these videos, he would always show them to me first. He'd be like, "Mom, check this out. What you think?" Before I actually put this
Out to the
for the
world.
world to see. I would critique him and be like, that ain't really. He'd be like, "Oh, Mom, this is the audience. This is what they want to see now, and blah blah. This is my era." Okay, cool, whatever. But I never would have thought, you know. I didn't find out actually that my son was murdered until the next day, July 15th.
Mm-hmm.
I was off. It was a Friday. I'm off every other Friday. Regular routine, but that early morning, I'm hearing somebody knocking on the door. But I'm thinking they're knocking on the neighbor's door. But all the time, these are Richmond detectives knocking on my door, 3 a.m. My nosy ass usually get up, but I didn't. I didn't get up this morning. When I did wake up on the 15th, get up, regular day, get up, make my little coffee. I sit down, turn on the news, seeing what's going on. I look at my phone and I'm like, okay. Anybody who has an iPhone know that you can read voicemail messages.
Uh-huh.
So I'm reading this message and I'm like, so I stopped and I called my dad. I say, "Dad, is Emari with you?" He said, "No." I said, "When the last time you talked to him?" "Yesterday." Something ain't right. So I'm telling my dad and he like, "Well, you need to, just listen to the message." I said, "Okay." So I listened to the message and I'm shaking. I'm feeling this emptiness. I don't feel my son no more.
Yeah.
I don't feel his spirit around me no more. I call my dad back. I say, "You need to get here. Don't tell Mom about this yet because
You want to make sure.
I want to make sure." And I lost my brother in Easter Sunday, 2015. My mom's only son. So I didn't want to think that, I'm kind of knowing what it is, but I didn't want to accept that at that time.
I think we all go through that.
Because I don't really want to, this is not real for me. I feel like I'm still asleep. This is just a bad dream, So my dad lived not far from me. He come over. I finally able to get a hold to one of the detectives after probably calling 10, 15 times. I'm calling my son's cell phone is going straight to voicemail, which wasn't a surprise to me because
Yeah.
sometimes he would, turn his phone off.
Typical 20-year-old.
Yeah.
20-something-year-old.
26.
Yeah.
The detectives say we were at your residence at 3 this morning. I
That's when that's about the time that the mother's morning wail comes out.
I knew,
Yeah.
So they say we're gonna come back out, and I'm asking them, what is this about? What is this about? Because I'm still in denial, right?
Yeah.
At this point. I say we got to call my mother now. My mom come over. My god sister come with her son. His name is Emari, which he's kind of named after my son. Emari is a little older than him. And we're all in there, and it felt like eternity, waiting on these detectives to pull up. They finally come, maybe about 40 minutes later. They come in, they're introducing themselves, and when the lead detective, when he asks, who's Emari's mother?
Yeah. So let's fast forward from that moment, right? Because that was a difficult moment, right? And I don't want to go through the whole chain of events, right? Because it's a difficult conversation.
It is.
And so told you I could switch the conversation.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm talking. We can lighten it up a little bit by going to his teenage years.
His teenage years were interesting. We're from Vallejo, but I lived in Oakland for 15 years. So he went to Berkeley Maynard Academy, and he was a cool little kid. Everybody liked him, but he had his little ways, right?
Yeah.
He had some of me. He had some of his father. So yeah, he was a boy. He was tried to rebel and stuff like that. He would cut school and typical shit that the kids do, right?
Typical teenage stuff.
Typical teenage stuff. So for the most part, Emari was a good kid. He was. He started rapping at like 13. He was just doing his thing. He didn't really run the streets though. He didn't, because he spent so much time with my dad.
Yeah.
So they would go fishing. He just showed him how to be a man. So and it would be some stuff like that, like some of his little smirks and some of his little facial expressions. I used to be like, "Boy, you a boy, me." Like, that was scary, just a little bit. But for the most part, Emari was a good kid. He had a good upbringing. I did the best I could. Like I was telling you earlier before we got on camera, I was married.
Yeah.
So my ex-husband Lamar, he took good care of Emari. He had a son of his own, so Emari had a little brother that he could be around all the time, and that type of thing. Because my son has several siblings on his father's side. I want to say he has probably about 7 brothers and sisters
on his father's side.
On his father's side, yeah. So, but that was my baby, So it is a lot of times where the grief does take over. However, when I look at certain pictures, it just kind of take me back to that moment, those moments. And, it make me laugh. So he was a joy. He was. And I prayed for my son because when I got pregnant, I didn't want to know what I was having. How some mothers, they go for the sonogram, and I can go for the sonogram, but I don't want to know what it is. Because I done already named this boy. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be
so
Emari
if he come
Khalil.
out with a girl, come out as a girl, we don't know what we going to do.
Yeah, I don't know because I didn't want no little me. Because I know how I was as a kid.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It would have been a bad thing. So I didn't want another me, a female me. You
can't be that bad.
I was something. I'd say that, and I'm just gonna park that right there. I was something. But yeah, I prayed for Emari. I was like, Lord, if you give me a son, I don't want no more kids. So I named him Emari Khalil. And when I pushed him out, February 16, 1996 at 2:50 p.m., my parents was right there. And I pushed him out. And when the doctor held him up, my mama said, Emari, and he looked right at my mama. So we was close, you know. We had a
So it be those beautiful moments that get us through the days.
yeah.
And I want to go back a little bit because you, in the beginning, you said you were trying to get back to your old self. I would like to encourage you to stop trying to get back. It's time to grow forward and evolve into a new person, right? Carrying the love and the grief that we have, because I think that's one of the biggest things that we try to do is we try to get back.
Yeah, because I think I lost my spark. You know, some people tell me they see me now and they like, you kind of the same, Falona, but you not the same. And a lot of people tell me that I wear my pain on my face.
And I would tell you to tell all of them to kiss my ass. Like, how dare you?
It's like, how do I not wear something?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, how, like, people, that you should give them the book and tell them things and give them the chapter things not to say they're a grieving parent.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, how dare you? Like, what type of audacity do you have to say something to someone who lost their child and you still got all your kids?
All your kids. Yeah.
Even if it's just one. So that's one of the things that grind my gears, like on a real level. Like, don't come telling me how I should be,
right.
What I need to be doing. God forbid you tell me I need to get over it or move on. Like,
oh, I've had people say that.
And I know. And
like, well, when you gonna move on?
I'm
not. I'm not gonna move on.
You lucky I'm getting out the bed every day.
Because I didn't do that for about a year.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
the people that say those insensitive things to you, you probably should stay away from them.
Well, half of them then fell off anyway, because you know I'm the type of person that I will get into myself a lot, and I won't answer the phone or nothing. I do still get up and go to work, but I just focus on work. I don't really socialize too much or none of that. And I have a great work family, like director on down. Like they got my back, you know, and they've been having it. And that's
it's still
important
some
too,
days that it start off amazing.
Yeah.
And then a song come on.
Oh yeah.
Or a scent.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Nana was 21 with the long eyelashes and talk with her hands. So I'd be sitting at Jack in the Box. Yeah. And a group of girls will come in talking loud. And I'm like,
you'll feel that
damn,
again.
I feel that. So it for a minute, it'll just break me, right? Until I learned how to process it and then just be thankful that somebody still got their child. You know what I'm saying? But don't come telling me what I should be doing. And don't allow people to tell you what you should be doing. Even after the guilty verdict, right? Like, I'm interested to know what that did or had it done anything, because people like me personally waiting on a trial. Like, it's been 3 years and
that's torture.
It's torture, and I keep getting these goddamn emails. They putting it off and they just put it off for another 3 months. And I'm like,
been there.
Why he keep getting...
Yeah. It's almost like a game to them.
Yeah.
You know, I think his first, the defendant's name is Bobby D. Dozier from
Richmond. I'm well aware of that.
From Richmond, California. I want everybody to know.
You put that on on your social media.
Absolutely. It's everywhere. This man was a complete stranger, you know. My son didn't know him. He didn't know my son. They had never seen each other a day in each other's lives. So, and I often think about, if it wasn't my son that night, it was gonna be somebody's son that night.
But I believe he had already done it before. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And so I've never said the person responsible for my child, I'll never give him that. I'll never give him that airplay based on like I got a lot of love, right? And maybe because it's still an open case, and I think when it's an open case, you can't say
Right.
or it wouldn't be wise to
True.
say it because
True.
then they can use that. He can use that against me.
Mm-hmm.
But
And see, I didn't care.
but most women don't.
Because when it first happened, of course, we didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't arrested until October 19th of 2022. So I'm waiting 3 months to find out who this is. I'm calling the detective probably every day. I know I got on their nerves so bad, but I'm like, do you have any leads? Do you have any leads? Do you have any leads? And of course, you know, they're gathering bits and pieces, but of course they can't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Not at that point, not until he's arrested. So they actually came to my house and told me that they had somebody in custody. And that's when they revealed who he was. So of course, now I want to know his resume. Who is this? Where is he from? What's going on here? Right? So I Googled him. And I got the shock of my life when I Googled this man's name, you know, because the headline was suspect arrested a 4th time for murder.
Ah.
And I'm like, wait, what? So now I see a picture of him and everything. I'm like, who is he?
Yeah, like, and
Where
so
did he come from?
you like, where did and why didn't he stay wherever he was at? You know what I'm saying? And I try not to give it that much thought to prevent the negative connotation or the negative emotions that can start just by the art, you know, how like, and then from in my case, a 21-year-old girl,
right? That's just driving down the street, minding her own business.
And I'm not even sure if that's the story. You know what I'm saying? That's the story that he said, right? But I'm not even sure if I'm not even because my baby mama still drives my daughter's truck to this day. It wasn't damaged that bad. I personally couldn't drive in the truck, but my kid's mother still drives in that truck to this day.
That's big. I don't know if I would be able to.
I could tell you I'm not able to do it. So I say all that to say that the truck wasn't damaged that bad. So for her to be driving,
but her life was still lost in that truck.
Yeah, her life was still lost in that truck, and I also understand too, though, right, that everybody had their own grieving process,
right?
And so my daughter was named directly after her mama.
Okay.
So and so they had a special bond, right?
Okay.
And so like I don't know what that looks like. So
right.
So I initially I had the same response as you. Like, let's just crush the truck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see the truck.
Right. Because of course it's gonna bring back, you know, it's gonna take you right back to that time.
But then you gotta as you ask for respect for people to respect your grieving process, you gotta respect theirs.
Exactly.
And so if that's your grieving process, I respect it. Just don't ever come pick me up in that truck. Or don't ever ask me to get in it because I'm not.
But you know maybe that's her way of keeping her close. And that was the last car that she was in.
Yeah.
Right. So
and so like
I can kind of understand
from one aspect, it's just the initial shock of it. Yeah. It's the initial shock of it, right? And so when you lose a child, it just do something to you. It do something to you. And I went through a very dark time where I was just angry. I'm still angry daily, right? Like it's a small level of anger and frustration brewing every day. That's why I stay in the house a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then the book came about because everybody was telling me what I should and what I couldn't.
Right.
And so I'm like, nah, this grief cycle that y'all talking about, that's some bullshit.
And that book is everything. Like I had it all at work and everything, and people was like, "What's that?" And I'm showing them, and they like, "You need that," you know.
Yeah.
I'm still angry too, even though this man is gone for 100 years to life. I'm still mad
because we was robbed of the immense amount of possibilities.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's even aware of what he took from me.
I don't think nobody. I think nobody can. I don't
I'll
think
never be a grandmother. My son didn't have no kids.
and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's besides when they do these type of things, and I tell my son the same thing, right? Because my son, I don't know what all he's into, but he's in jail for robbery right now. So I'm just like, dude, like that, like I don't condone that shit.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm
And
saying?
we don't know what our kids are into. We don't know what they do when they leave out the front door or whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, to kind of try to soften the blow for myself, I was just thinking of all kinds of shit that Emari could have been into, and I would be like, well, maybe he was, but then no. But then maybe he, no, that's not his character, you know. So I'm looking for ways to accept what happened to him.
And that's another thing. If you read the book, you don't have to accept it.
And I have not, you know. When people say, "Oh, well, you know, you haven't accepted it yet," that was my only child. What you mean? I still sleep in my son's bedroom. I sleep in my son's bed.
I that's one way to get punched in your goddamn throat, asking me to accept. I acknowledge it so I don't go crazy.
If I didn't work for the county, I probably would be in jail.
But I'm just saying though, so we acknowledge it because we
Yeah.
don't want to go crazy.
Right.
And
Because you will go crazy.
And we understand that it happened.
Yeah.
But
that's all I understand is that it happened.
But
and that's all I can accept, that it happened. Not how it happened, who did it, or none of that, you know, because this is very traumatizing. Like, when I went to go view my son, because I had to go, and once the mortuary went and got him, I had to come identify him, you know, opposed to going to the morgue. And when we walked in there, they told us soon as, you know, as we were opening the door to go into the part where he was, they told me his eyes are open. And my mama said, she said, no. She said, don't go in there. I said, no, that's my baby. I gotta walk the whole walk, you know.
So for me, once the mortuary got her and made her presentable, I just asked that before they put her in, before they got her dressed, and before they, you know what I mean, just bring her out on a gurney, you know, underneath a blanket. And let me see my baby. And that's where I got my closure, because I was able to look into my child's eyes and see that she wasn't afraid. Like when she got hit, it was sudden. So she didn't have a chance to be nervous, scared. She didn't have a look of fear on her face. I was able to turn her neck, see where she was hit, see how they fixed her. But I sat with her. I played with her hair. She hated when I played with the hair on her arms. I played with the hair on her arms. I talked to my baby. They took her weave out. So now my baby like a little nappy headed little kid. So I'm just playing with her hair. She hated when I did stuff like that, but I got to.
But you needed to do that for you.
I got a chance to talk to my baby, right, and see that she was. My whole thing was, please don't let her went out scared or with the look of fear in her face. You know what I'm saying? And so she didn't have none of that. So that's where I got my closure, and that's how I was able not to go to the funeral. Because once again, I'm like, let's leave her as natural as possible. And other parties and other powers that be wanted to all this goddamn makeup and all that. Right. I have a real problem with makeup.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not just my daughter, like my wedding pictures. Like we went through 3 or 4 makeup artists because I said if I can't see my wife freckles, I'm not gonna say I do. Because I wanted to.
You want the most natural.
I want the most natural. Thing. So when people walk into my home like you did, you have some beautiful wedding pictures.
Yes.
And when you seen Tammy, when she looked at exactly how she looked on the pictures.
Yeah, you're right.
You could tell she got on makeup.
Yeah, but not much. Not much. It didn't alter.
But
face.
you've seen some wedding pictures and be like, who was that? And they be like, that's us.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Y'all wedding pictures are beautiful. But I just got
But
like I don't really. You just see my wife here. It's natural, and I tell her sometimes she look like Felicia from Friday. But I love it because it's natural.
right. Most men prefer natural.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah, I
like,
get it.
come on, let's not do the
Too
long.
much.
Yeah, let's not do too much. You know what I'm saying? And it's no knock against the women that do.
Right.
You have on some like, and you look amazing. But we both know people that overdo it.
Do I? I try not to overdo it, but I don't even wear makeup. But
so my whole thing is to prevent that.
Yeah.
And prevent me having on a shirt and you come to hug me and you leave your face on my goddamn shirt.
You crazy.
Now I got to go back home and change because you want to give me a hug.
Oh my God. Okay. You is crazy. That's funny as hell. But I feel you know. But I do understand like as far as like your baby not having any fear or anything like on her face, right? I passed out when I saw my son like that with his eyes open. So and when I came to, I was outside. So somebody had put me in the car, right? But one of my close friends had shut up. One of my close friends, she had actually went back inside. And my son was in a body bag, so they had to unzip him. Right. And the first thing that I saw was his eyes like this. And my son, he actually had to fight for his life. So there was some fear in his face, right? He was brave, I think my son did what some people might have not had the courage to do that night. Because this guy told him to lay down and all that, like, and my son he did not lay flat on the ground. He actually just went down to his knees. But now this guy got this gun to his face. So my son grabbed the barrel of the gun and he stood up. So now he's tussling with this guy with this gun, right? So he was able to kind of knock him back a few steps. And that's when my son took off running. And that's when he, was able to shoot him in the back. But that you can't unsee that.
Yeah, you can't unsee that.
And but I deem my son kind of like he saved the young lady life that was with him that night. Because when he sensed this stranger danger and this guy jumped out with this AR-15 pistol, my son told the girl that he was with, babe, run.
Yeah.
So my son saved this girl life,
So he did what a man's supposed to do.
He did what a man, exactly.
So
and
that's one of those situations where
you're
proud of him, but you like, you should have ran too. But you don't know what to do in that situation until you're in that situation.
You're in it.
But he made the best decision for him that he knew.
Yeah.
And so that got to make you proud a little bit.
It does.
Because
it does.
And by the girl being able to get away, she was able to tell the story. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. It's a gift and a curse there.
It is. Because Emari was
he don't look like he was a small kid.
He was 6 feet.
Yeah, he definitely was bigger than you.
Come on, D. Stop it. Look. Listen, y'all, I'm 5'4.5". Okay, I'm giving myself that half, but I'm probably 5'4", soaking wet. But anyway,
yeah, but she only weigh 130 pounds.
I'm 142. I weighed myself this morning, but yeah, he was. He got that hype definitely not from my dad. So like pretty much like all the men or the young men on my mom's side of the family, they're really tall. 5'11" and up. So that's where he got the hype from.
Yeah.
But kind of Emari was like a slender kid. He wasn't like a big guy, or nothing like that. It's just crazy, It's just crazy how that all unfolded. But I do feel like he stood in a man's position
Hmm.
that night. Because we all know it's some men that would have put her in front of them.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
some suckers out there.
and let her, take whatever it is that was coming. But Emari didn't do that, and so yeah, I hate, of course I hate that happened,
Oh, most definitely.
I do believe, that God He has carried me. I mean, when I couldn't carry myself, He's carried my parents. My mother held on as long as she could. I lost my mother on Christmas Eve.
Ooh, sorry to hear that.
Um, yeah, she never got justice for my brother. So my mother never missed a court hearing.
Yeah,
And then, we lost her Christmas Eve, and that just made me angry all over again that my mother didn't get a chance.
yeah,
Because continuance after continuance, just like you were talking about, they sending you emails, oh, they pushing it back, they pushing it back. We went 3 years. You know,
it's coming. It's gonna be 3 years soon. It's like 2.5 already, but
and that makes it even that prolongs the grief and the anger at the same time,
man,
because you want to get this over with.
people don't understand how angry it makes you to open up an email and they say continue to, and then sometimes they send you 2 or 3 court dates at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, so
And that they're not pushing it back a week or two.
it's months.
It's months down the line, and it's like I had this thing that I would say to myself every time they did a continuance, and I would say it to the prosecutor's office. It took this man seconds to take my son from me, but look how long it's taken to get justice for my son. Make it make sense.
Make it makes. I actually stopped going to court. Like I went to court in the beginning, and then I'm like, I can't do this.
It make you want to do some things.
Yeah, me and my brother was in court, and the guy like turned around to scan the room. We knew he was scanning, looking for something in his family.
Of course.
But nobody. So the beautiful thing about this is nobody showing up for him.
Ha!
Nobody showing up for him. So like nobody is condoning what he did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because the rule on the street is no women, no children, and you killed a woman and a child at the same time. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So he just double fucked up.
So my like Nana being only 21, she's considered a woman and a child.
Right.
Like it's only one victim, but you went against
both of the codes.
Both of the codes for no reason.
And I think that's what is hurtful the most.
There's no rhyme or reason behind it,
because it's for nothing. I still was never given an explanation as to why my son in here.
Well, at least we can say it was a robbery attempt gone wrong. Right?
Can we?
I don't know.
He didn't go through my son's pockets.
He didn't do nothing?
No. He pulled up, jumped out the car. Is you him and my son going back and forth. My son like, man, I don't know you, whatever.
Also, it's mistaken identity.
Or was it? Or did he just want to kill somebody? Remember, this is his 4th time.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's so many what ifs and so many coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Exactly.
And that shit frustrating as fuck.
And what's really, what really is sticking with me is whenever my son wasn't at home during the week, whenever he was in Richmond with this young lady, he would come home on Thursdays. This happened on a Thursday night.
All the coulda, woulda, shouldas is frustrating as hell.
And I always, I often think to myself, like, dang, if I would have just called him when I got home from work on Thursday and been like, boys, you coming? You need me to come get you? Like, whatever. It makes me wonder, could I have changed what happened? Would my son still be here? He happened to run across this monster, that's just fresh off the freeway, but he's riding with this AR-15 pistol on the passenger seat with the window down. So the girl saw the gun because he's inching, they're walking and he's like inching on, next to them. So she look over and she see the gun. So she say something to Emari. She like, babe, he got a gun. So my son did like this, like pushed her like by her stomach, back a little bit. And that's when he jumped out the car and said what he said and did what he did.
And so I got to give Emari a salute, you know what I mean, for being a stand-up man and protecting that young woman in that situation.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go forward. We got the verdict. Yeah. What does that do? What can because we are the trial, like I don't want to. Do I want to talk about the trial? Like, did you have a trial or?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about the trial because I got questions.
Okay. Because first we had the preliminary hearing, which was January 2024, right? So it took us a whole another year just to get to the actual trial.
Yeah.
This man is doing the same thing that, your daughter's suspect did. He comes in. Sometimes we're already seated when they bring him out. Sometimes he's already seated when we come in. But of course, yeah, he's turning around. He's looking for his people or whatever. There was one young lady that she rode to the end with him. She married him the day of his sentencing in the courtroom after we left out. Right?
Some people ain't bright.
Well, I could say some things about her, but I'm not gonna do that. If you watching, you know. But anyway, he would scan the courtroom and stuff like that. I seen his mother one time. This man has 2 daughters and a sister. I couldn't tell you what they look like because they never showed up, right? His mom came to the preliminary and we had 2 days of testimony at the preliminary last year, January. She didn't introduce herself to me, but this young lady that I'm telling you about that rode with him to the end, after the first day of preliminary, me and my family and a bunch of people, co-workers, everybody, like we flooded the courtroom that day. We're standing outside. We're doing a little recess break or whatever. So these 4 women are walking past. One of this lady is included. And she looked at me. They all looked at me and they kept walking. And then the one that rode it out with him, she came back. And she said, "I'm so sorry. My condolences." And I was just like, okay. I thanked her, It was rough for me to do that because at the end of the day, that I know you ain't just met this nigga. You ain't just met him. You already know what type of person he is. You know his background. You know his history and everything. But I'm saying that to say his mother didn't have nothing for me.
And from that standpoint, I don't know if it'll matter to me.
It didn't matter to me that she said something to me and that the mom did not. But she didn't have to say nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't have to say anything.
I'm like, I don't think I'm at a place where
you would even
where I want his family
to say anything,
to approach me, and say anything.
And that was her first and only time.
Maybe give me some more time, right? Maybe I got to mature a little bit more.
Well, you know what I want to do to her, right?
Yeah, but and
my family is all around and they looking like what?
I don't know if I have that level of restraint. Right? So you exercise a high level of restraint that day. I don't know if I could do that, right? So I prefer them to just keep it how it's been the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Right? And just, the best thing that we could do for each other families is just stay out of each other's way.
Absolutely.
And I'm not searching or looking, and don't come.
Right.
What they say, don't come for me if I don't send for you. I'm not like, I don't want to, there's no apology that can be given to me at this time.
I'm telling you.
And maybe I will get to a point where I can accept an apology or even have somebody that closely tied to him to say something to me, like I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'd be able to restrain myself.
It was weird, it was very weird, and because I had been seeing her, since pretty much his first hearing. I didn't know who she was, of course, because at that point, when you first start going to court, they're behind like this little glass, and they come up to the window when their name is called or whatever. So the first time I ever saw his face in person was behind that little glass thing. But when they called his name, I stood up, and you're not supposed to stand up in court. And I guess the judge knew who I was. I'm flanked with my son's face everywhere and all that, and I stood up, and I was the only one that stood up. And it was several family members with me. A couple of my son's siblings, his sisters was there. And I want to see who is this?
Yeah, who this is.
And he looked right at me too. And I just...
Which made you angrier?
The neck, the hair on my neck just stood up because I'm looking at pure evil.
And so so I stopped going to court early in the process, preserving myself for the trial.
And you have to, and I just feel like I wouldn't say I feel like I owed that to my son to be there every single time, but I was so consumed with the whole situation.
Yeah.
And it would make me sick to my stomach every time I have to look at this man, because sometime when we're already seated and he's coming in, he looked right at me every time. He would look right at me, and it would just be like, if I could just...
and so the brief eye contact that I made with that man, he put his head down. Right?
That's what they do.
And so it instantly sent me to, and you a sucker.
Facts.
So like, I just don't want to, like, I don't want to keep
going
putting myself through that. But I do know during the trial, you got to hear the testimony. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or at least how they collected the evidence. Now, what I'm not sure of is, in this day and age, do they show photos?
They did not show photos of my son. They did not show pictures of him, but it was so much evidence. And we watch the little crime shows and all that. It's nothing compared to real life when you're sitting in the courtroom.
I could imagine.
We had a cell phone data. We had experts come in. I mean, you name it, they was in there. And it was, like the detective, it was so much testimony. A lot of it, I have to be honest, I couldn't sit through. When the girl came to testify, I didn't sit in there for that, because
the girl that your son saved.
Yes, because of course she saw everything. I didn't want to have to visualize that again.
Yes.
So I didn't sit through her stuff. I didn't sit through when the coroner came in to talk. But the prosecutor, he was just everything. The whole Contra Costa County DA office was just, they was on it. Very sensitive to what they felt that I could listen to and what I couldn't. Mm-hmm. So when certain people were coming in to testify, the prosecutor would come to me personally, and he would whisper in my ear, and he would say, "So-and-so coming in now to testify. If you want to leave out."
Yeah. So they are a lot more respectful.
Absolutely.
in real life.
Absolutely.
And so
this particular prosecutor.
This particular case. And so that's like in the back of my mind, because I know I got to go through that process and that procedure. And so after the guilty verdict is read, what emotion do you feel?
Well, we went through probably about 7 to 8 days worth of testimony, right? Mm-hmm. Prosecution has the burden of proof. So we got through that. They say, now they're giving, the judge is giving the jury instructions on, deliberating and all that. There was one juror that stood out to me. She was an older lady, white lady, short. So every time we would come in, of course, during trial, we're not supposed to be where the jurors are, but the hallway, we got to come through the hallway,
Yeah.
right? But I noticed that the lady, she was in the elevator with us one morning. And we was just talking about a whole bunch of stuff because at this point I know who the jury is now because I'm seeing them every day.
Yeah.
And we was talking about something totally different and the lady started laughing with us, right? But I noticed she would look over at me every so often from the jury box. So that lets me know that they knew that I was Emari's mother.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just see the compassion, especially the women. You could just see the compassion, like, damn, they like, how is this lady dealing with this? I just seen her laughing in the elevator this morning,
Yeah.
And now she's to pieces because people got to keep walking her out of here.
But I don't think people understand that no emotion stays with you all the time.
Right.
And that's why in the book, I got laugh without feeling guilty, cry without feeling weak, right?
And because I didn't laugh for a long time.
A lot of people don't laugh for a long time, right?
I felt like, why should I get to laugh when my son came?
Even this big dude sitting on the cross from you had the same emotion. So that book was written from personal experience, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. Well, let me take that back. I know I'm gonna be able to sit through it. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to excuse myself.
Well, there's gonna be several. So and that's okay.
So just
okay.
Get used to it.
Just get used to it. And if you can, sit close to the exit door.
Yeah.
We were actually in the front row. But the door was kind of just to the left of me here.
Yeah.
Couple seats back, but I always sat at that end seat.
Mm-hmm.
So because I knew it was gonna be some shit that I just couldn't deal with.
Yeah.
I want to beat the shit out of him. I want to fuck up the judge. I want to beat the shit out of the people the girl that's coming. Like what? But the verdict on our last day of testimony, it was some powerful stuff, that came out, and I knew we had him. Was no doubt in my mind. But you always got to think. You don't know what the jury thinking. Yeah. Just because we feel like we got him and it's a slam dunk, they might not feel like that. They might be like, well, shit, they just messing with this dude. And you know how the judge say, oh, don't talk about it with nobody. Don't look online. I bet you 99.9 of them damn people probably was like, let's see who this bastard is.
Yeah.
So they knew who he was, So we ended up leaving. I want to say, what day was that? It had to be maybe like a Tuesday? Thursday they was calling me. We got a verdict.
That's when I seen the post.
Mm-hmm. I said, okay. I called my dad. I'm calling everybody like, come on, y'all. Whoever, I'm finna leave some people or whatever, like meet me at the courthouse in Martinez. So, we get there. He's already seated in the courtroom. Jury come in. And when the jury comes in, he has to stand up. And this was all during the trial. He has to stand up. And mind you, we right there. So he probably right there where that light is at, and we right here. So he got to stand up. And the jury is coming in from the door behind us. So he's facing us. So the jury come in and, judge say, do you have a unanimous verdict? Woo, woo. They like, yeah. And my dad is right here. And one of my first cousins is next to me. And everybody else is behind us. And I'm holding on for dear life. And when they read that first one, first degree, they say, Bobby Dozier, the jury has found you guilty of first degree murder. I think I stopped listening after that. Because he was guilty on all 5 counts, Darrin. And I looked at him too. And he just shaking his head. And I'm like, you bitch. You bitch. You did this. Like, but and before even leading up to like the preliminary and all that, I'm asking the prosecutor, like, so y'all ain't offer him no deal or nothing? Because I want to get this over with. I don't want to have to drag it on as long as it went on. I didn't want to have to do that. And they said, oh, it's nothing to offer him. He guilty. We got him. We got too much evidence to offer him anything. And mind you, when he killed the homeless man back in 2007, he was charged with first-degree murder. They let him plead down from murder to manslaughter, which only got him that 15 years. And they let him out in 10. So he was home September 2020. He didn't wait 2 years until he took my son from me.
And who's to say what happened in the middle of that he didn't get caught for?
Well, the first 2 homicides happened before 2007, but they didn't have enough to charge him for either one of those.
No, what I'm saying is, it's hard for me to believe that it took him 2 years
to do something.
I
believe there's some unsolved homicides out there with his name on it. Yeah. Absolutely.
So like, it's just trying to be a good human is hard after a loss like this. At least for me.
But see, I guess I done been through so much. This is the very worst, of course.
Definitely.
But I've seen a lot. You know, I've done a lot. You know, in my 50 years of being on this earth. But I just gotta. I have to keep going for my son.
No, we definitely gonna keep going, and we gonna do the best we can to grow forward.
But it's hard, you know.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's hella hard.
It's hella hard to be and to keep going, and then be a good person while we doing it.
Well, I don't know if I'm a good person.
Man, I think you're a great person. You go a little off the Richter a couple days.
I do.
But it's all. I believe that. So I've grown up with some demons, right?
Yeah. So
when people say that they not a good person, I'm like, nah. It's some people out here that just they sole purpose when they wake up is to cause chaos and confusion. You not one of those people.
No, I'm not. I ain't that bad.
You might cuss a person out every now and again.
Facts. Yeah. You know, or I might just go silent. You know, and I think that fucks with people more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to be bothered.
I just know that if we ever get into it, I'm gonna send you a plate of food. We're gonna be back good.
See, there you go.
I'm gonna send you some soul food, and we're gonna be all right.
And we'll be cool again. Absolutely, for sure.
So, what can the rest of us out here expect?
Okay.
Once the guy gets sent to the penitentiary. Because you also posted that they transferred him from.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Shit. Because you know, again, after the verdict was read, you know, now we have to wait for sentencing. And then that was another waiting game, right? Yeah. He was supposed to be, he was convicted March 27th. He was supposed to have been sentenced in June, right? I had family come from Texas and everything, only for them to tell me the week before we have to push it back to July 25th.
Like, why are you pushing back the sentence?
He's convicted. What is we waiting on? All you got to do is sentence him and get him out of here. But I had to go through that part of it again, right? So now it's July 25th. You know, we're at the sentencing. You know, they bring him in and, you know, they're like, okay, the judge is reading off all now. My dad almost went off. Now I had to hold my dad down like this because my dad is here. The advocate is here. Really nice lady. So he read the first sentence, 25 to life for the homicide, right? And my dad was like, so I had to kind of push my dad back, and the advocate, she said, he not done yet. And let me rewind a little bit because I had to give a victim impact statement, right? Uh-huh. I felt like I was going to pass out when I stood up. I had other people go before me. One of my son's older sister, she actually spoke, my god sister and one of my god brothers. Now, my god brother, this is interesting. Don't miss this. My god brother was locked up with him in Vacaville.
Back in when he did his 15?
Back in the day. Mm-hmm. So, of course, he don't know us. So he don't know the connection between me and this dude. So my god brother spoke first. The guy is facing the judge, right? And we're like over here, like at a podium. And when my god brother stood up and he said his name and spelled it, the Bobby Dozier did like this. Because I'm watching him the whole time. And my god brother looked right at him. He said, yeah, you know me. He said, but you fucked up. You don't know what you did to my sister.
Because you just never know who related to who.
Exactly.
But we can't skip over what is a victim impact statement.
A victim impact statement is, when you get up and you talk to the court and you let them know, how the situation have impacted your life, how it has affected you and your family and, just everything around you, because it's such a tremendous loss. So I had a whole script that I had, right? And I got this script in my hand. And when I stood up and I said my name and I spelled it, it's like everything it just drained me. So now I'm holding on to the podium because I feel like I'm finna pass out for real.
Yeah.
I have some family members, standing behind me and everything. And the advocate, she stood next to me too. And I just flowed with it, and one thing that I guess stood out to some people there, they didn't know how much of my homework I had did when it came to this man. I let the judge know and the public defender. I said, Judge Kennedy, I know that you're the very judge that he came before in 2007 for taking somebody else's life for nothing. You gave him 15 years, you laid him out in 10. I said, oh, and Miss Welch, public defender, I know he sat with you at this very table in 2007. So you need to get this right this time.
And that probably weighed heavy on.
Because when the judge was giving his sentencing, he mentioned me. He said, and Miss Simmons is right. I have to make this right. I have to do the ultimate this time. You're definitely a danger to society. You have no regard for human life. You killed Emari Khalil Cook in cold blood for no reason at all. So he read off 4 25 to life sentences. That he gave him 4 years for he had a machine gun charge or something before that. But so he actually got 104 years to life.
And so they ran him concurrent instead of consecutive.
Yes.
Because you can get for 25 years and they run them consecutive and it's only 25.
It's only 25. Oh, yeah.
But when you run it concurrent, you get the whole 100.
He's out of here.
So you got 4 life sentences.
And now he's blinking back tears and all that goofy shit. Like, nigga, I get to cry for the rest of my life.
Yeah. and so the day after you wake up, is it lighter? Do you get a sense of relief?
Yes and no. The yes part is because I know he'll never walk free again. He'll never get to destroy another family.
Well, at least if he does it this time, it'll be somebody else behind the wall, and you know what I mean. It's a fair game.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And he's going because of the violent history, he will be at a level 4, level 5 prison yard.
With the people that he deserved to be with.
Absolutely. With his homies or whatever, and that just go to show you what type of person he is or was, because only this young lady wrote it out with him. I didn't see no cousins. I didn't see no partners, no homeboy, none of that shit. It was just this this person, right?
But we all know that we all got one of those in our family, right? We all got that one chick that you look at her and you be like, you can't be this stupid.
She can't do no better.
But
I I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I gotta put it out there. I'm sorry. Listen, they made for each other. I just say that. And she can't get a man free no way. So yeah, I'm on that.
So
But
it is
but the no part for me is my son's still gone.
Yeah, that's gonna forever be.
So
That's gonna forever be.
Because I've had several people ask me, how do you feel now? That he's been sentenced and he's been shipped. And I often think back to when I gave my victim impact statement. You always feel like I didn't say enough. I didn't really say what I wanted to say. But again, I start feeling faint. So I'm like, let me just get out what I can get out.
Yeah.
And, it's a little bit of, it's a little bit of, I can't even call it closure because I still don't know why he did this. And when the judge asked him, Mr. Dozier, would you like to say anything? You know what he said? My lawyer told me don't say nothing. What you think you're gonna get an appeal or something? You might as well go on and tell me why the fuck you killed my son for nothing. Yeah. You didn't go through his pockets. Emari had on the watch and all of that. You didn't take nothing from him. You didn't take nothing out of his pocket. Nothing. Did you think my son was somebody else? Give me something.
Yeah. And I think that is one of the most devastating parts of our two cases is not knowing, trying to make it make sense.
Yes.
And I tell people all the time, I just need to make it make sense.
I think I would be I can move on a little bit if it just made just a little bit of sense.
And so it don't make sense to me. And so I think that's a challenge that we gonna always have.
Yeah.
But like I always do, I'm gonna encourage you to do something in his name. Right?
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up sitting down.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up meeting because I wrote the book in my daughter's name. And now my brother convinced me because my brother was like, hey, if you don't start getting this shit out, you're going to either you're
gonna
snap on somebody or you're gonna snap on yourself. And either way, it's a bad thing. So I recommend you start talking to people. So, and I've had therapists come sit in that same chair and give me some great information during the process of our podcast. So this is what I'm doing in Nana's honor, right? And then whenever I record, she's right over my shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's like
I've been thinking of, and I do want to do something, but again, I was so consumed with all the court stuff. Like,
yeah,
I ate, slept, and shit court because that was my life, and now that that's over, I really don't know what to do with myself, honestly.
And you have the right to take as long as you need to figure it out. So I think another part is the rushing. Like, just wake up and just ask God to guide your footsteps and just try some shit today.
Yeah. Because my son was into music and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. And then I try to take care of my dad because, not only did he lose Emari, he lost my mom too.
And you say he lost a son.
So, well, me and my brother had different fathers, but, he been around, pretty well my whole life. So, and my brother was just 2 years older than me. So, I really don't know what's next for me. It's going to be something, and I want it to be definitely in honor of my son. And
a restaurant could you like to eat?
You just ain't gonna let up on that shit. But you know what, D? For real, like
that's what Tina's gonna do.
My son used to really like, it was certain dishes that I would make for him and he would only eat mine. I haven't made those foods since he's been gone. So maybe that's something that I can start doing again. And maybe like on Sundays or Saturdays or whatever, just not even sell dinners. It's not even about making.
It's not about making money. I'm just we just it it helps me.
Yeah. It would make me feel good
to
knowing that
stay in
people are
tune.
enjoying the stuff that Emari
Yeah,
enjoys.
and just stay in tune with the things that our
Yeah.
children did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I still bought the hair, and my daughter got it, and I don't know if she's selling it or not, but
Right. But as long as you got it.
I bought it. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? Just we got to keep their legacy alive. And now this podcast gonna live on YouTube forever unless YouTube go broke, which I doubt.
I doubt it.
So you know what I mean? So people gonna see this and we're gonna inspire some people.
Yeah.
You gave some people some insight on what to expect. Like I didn't even think about the aspect of the victim impact statement. You know what I'm saying? And I now have a real life example of what to look forward to on the other side of the guilty verdict. You know what I'm saying? And just praying I get a guilty verdict.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because that is something that, like I was saying before, in my eyes and in my family's eyes, we had a slam dunk, but then we didn't know if some of the things that the public defender was throwing out there, trying to discredit this person and discredit this expert and this witness, and so I just wasn't sure, and I'm like, Lord, what is gonna happen? But I said, so you sit high, you look low. You saw what happened, that night, and I'm gonna tell you something that somebody told me. One of my coworkers, actually, we were talking, and she doesn't have any kids, but she had a good friend that goes to her church that lost a daughter, and she said that the woman stood up at church and she said, I was angry with God for a long time, and I was like, God, what is that? Who is that?
See, I'm the total opposite, right? And let me tell you why. Let me tell you how I could be opposite.
Okay, because I didn't know how to be opposite.
Because I was a 20-something-year-old man shooting my gun, right? Okay. And whenever I shot my gun, I never thought about God, right? So I can't think that this man pulled his trigger thinking about God. I think God doing exactly what he's supposed to do in the situation, which is keeping us safe and sane. So if we believe in good, we got to believe in evil. Sometimes evil run the world and they run a play and they score. Our children are just victims of the evilness in this world. God doing exactly what he's supposed to do in this situation. He put us in connection. You came to the book signing. We have turned into friends. You know what I'm saying? I check on you sometimes, even though you don't answer your phone all the time.
Don't do that.
But when he put me in connection with people, especially those of us who have lost a child, try not to overstep my boundaries, but I try to let people know that, hey, you're not alone.
Right.
Because on this side of the gate, it get lonely. Right? Because we've discussed how we lost people who we thought we'll never lose, who we thought was our friends.
Who we thought was family.
Who we thought was family.
Because I think family shitted on me the most.
And
for real.
That's part of the problem, right? I may have seen my dad 10 times in the last 2 years, 2.5 years. And it's me going to go get him, right? So, and he'll call, he'll be like, just let me know if you need something. But that's one of the worst things you could tell somebody.
That does something to me when people say that. Oh, just call me. Why do I have to call you?
Not why do I have to call you? I don't even know what the fuck I need. I don't even know what the
fuck I need. Like,
I am over here trying to just hold it together, and you want me to think about what I want, and then
I want to call you and tell you what I need.
For you probably not to be able to show up in the way I need you.
I don't think he means any harm, but this is just generally speaking, right? Because so many people do that, and I know people that have lost people, and I've never said to them, "Oh, call me if you need me." Never.
You know what I do?
I'll be like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm finna pull up on you. You at home? I might drop off some food or, something like, let me come take you out the house. Let's go for a walk, something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
show
But
up.
that's what it's about. It's about showing up
I
because
should.
all this right here, my cousin is a pastor. My cousin, QB Finley, he actually officiated Emari's service. And he said that to me. He looked right at me and he said, cousin, he said, you see all these people in here? And I know he didn't mean no harm, but some people took it personal. You see all these people in here? People standing up in the back. He said, it's going to get quiet. I didn't know what he meant.
It's gonna get quiet.
And it got quiet, and
It
crazy.
get quiet fast.
And it was weird because he lost his only son just a year and a half after that.
It's gonna get quiet fast. It get quiet directly after the funeral service.
But little do people know that that's when the grieving process really starts, after the funeral, right? Because that's when you're really just, you feel like you just by yourself. I don't care if you married, if you got 100 kids, if you got a twin, like that grief is in here. It's not surrounding everything about you or everybody around you, because that's your child. So of course you're going to feel way stronger than other people, right?
Exactly. And so that's one thing I do have, like my wife.
Exactly. And she seemed like a beautiful person.
And I got my brother, right?
Well, at least you got that.
Yeah.
Right?
So I got Noble, I got Sean, I got Sonny, I got Darrin, I got their wives. So I got
you got a village.
I got a village,
right?
that all I got to do is make a phone call and everybody will pull up.
See, I don't have a village, so
and,
that's a blessing that you
and
have
so
that.
Most people don't. So when I come across a parent that don't, or I don't know if I know them or not, I send you a random ass text in the middle of the day, or when I first start my shift, whether you respond or not. I know you seen it, motherfucker.
I have a sister. Me and my sister are 9 months apart. Exactly. She's my father's daughter. I haven't seen my sister since I put my son in the ground. July 30th, 2022. This lady live in Sacramento.
And so it's like, we just got to gravitate to the people that gravitate to us.
Exactly.
And we got to love on who love on us. And
most definitely.
And we got to keep building this community of I want to say parents with children that reside in heaven, because I still say I got 4 children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because some people, like I try not to talk about Emari in the past tense, because he's still so much around me. He is me. Yeah. I am him. So when I used to sit at the cemetery every day. They would kick me out the cemetery. Like, Miss Simmons, we about to close the gate. They would have to literally escort me to the gate to leave.
But that's your grieving process, right?
And I have not been, I haven't sat at the cemetery like that since the sentencing.
Because now you got a form of closure, and you like, baby, we did it.
We did it.
We got, and so anybody that don't let you talk about your child in the present tense, you probably shouldn't be around them.
Absolutely not. And see, I my circle was small anyways. Like, I've never been, because people always tell me I'm mean and I'm unapproachable and all of those type shit. And I probably gotten a little worse since I lost my son, but I do let some people in, especially these other parents that I've met who have lost children, like Sonia Mitchell. I don't know if you heard her story or seen it.
She on my page. I haven't had a deep dive into her. Like, when she come across my page, I always send her love and prayers, right? So what I try not to do is ask the hows and the whys, and all I need to know is you lost your child.
Yeah.
Because I also think that the internet makes people feel way too entitled to other people's information.
Yeah.
Because things be happening on social media, and then you want to know why and how. And
but kind of the same way that I kind of put Emari's full story out there, she has put her son full story out there as well. And it's weird because I didn't know Sonia. I worked with her sister, and I've been working with her sister for years. So when Sonia lost Dada, everybody at work knew. So I actually sent her a message on I sent her inbox on Facebook, and she never even saw it. She never even read it. But then when I lost my son, because her son was killed in 2020. So we talking 2 years, right? She actually saw it, and I'm pretty sure her sister had told her what happened. So Sonia reached out to me, and I met Sonia in person for the first time at her son's gravesite. And we've been rocking
And
ever
see,
since.
and I told you that I need to do a better job of actually coming out. But now that you made it out here, you like, I see why you don't. I stay kind of far.
Yeah, I was like, look, I'm driving over here. I'm like, well, damn, I done passed like 15 lights. Like,
So I stay kind of far. I stay close, but I stay far.
yeah.
And I drive every day for work. Like,
Right.
so I got to drive all the way to San Francisco every day, and then I got to drive from San Francisco to Vacaville 2 times at night. Then I got to drive back from San Francisco back home.
Well, you passing through us. So listen, me, you, Tina, Sonia, we all need to, because again, Darrin, you're the only father. Like, I do know other men from Vallejo who have lost sons.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it.
So I am the only father that talk about it,
Yes.
right? But I am getting more men to talk
To
about
get
it
engaged. Okay.
to me,
Okay.
right? But
not.
But they won't talk openly about it.
Okay.
But I'm helping people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it's another father from Vallejo. He got a car wash, and he do auto detailing, and he lost his son. And so he won't talk, but
Tell me off camera.
yeah, but we'll communicate, and
Okay.
and I got fathers that reach out to me and
Okay,
just be
good.
like, how do I process this? And I'm like, I can't tell you how to process it. I can just tell you how I process it.
Yeah.
And like I
And
say,
just to make it like a little bit easier, because again, nobody can soften the blow.
not at all.
And it really, I wouldn't even say it really depends on how how deep your faith goes, but Jesus went through a whole bunch of things too.
I don't really. So I believe in a higher power, and I know about the Bible, and I've read the Bible in the Quran at some point in my life, right? I just personally believe that just be a good human.
But then sometimes look what being a good human can get you. My son was a good human too. So was your daughter. So was a whole bunch of other,
and being a good human and staying out the way of evilness as much as possible. Right?
And they both was doing that, right?
They both was doing that, right? They both was minding their own business, and evilness found them.
I never looked at it that way.
Evilness found them.
Evilness found them.
So
yeah,
that's another reason why I don't come out the house much. So if evilness finds me here, it's gonna be 2 people hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I tried. So as a father, right? And every father that I talk to, we go through, like, mothers go through the nurturing part. We go through the feelings of a failure because we're supposed to provide and protect for our children. If you a solid father and you've been in your child's life, like I told you a little bit about my backstory. Like, I am a man's man. Like, I am protecting my children, and I lose one on my watch. The feelings of a failure that comes over a man, and the things just that alone make you want to do, you know what I mean? And so it's about 10 of us, maybe 13 of us, right? That we were active in our children's life. And you lose one on your watch. And so it's a whole nother level of anger and frustration that we all carry, and we all trying to be good people. We all just want to just do the best we can.
But it's like, how do you be good, like, after something like this? Like, how do you like
understand? So my brother tell me, you responsible for how you act no matter how you feel, right?
okay.
And you're not allowed to go out. So my brother always tell me, you're not allowed to go out and cause more chaos and confusion because you hurt. And like I put in the book, revenge don't really bring about peace, or you know what I'm saying? It only causes more chaos and confusion, and it prolongs the suffering. Because despite what people say, and you cannot, well, I cannot be I can't, to do something to somebody who don't deserve it. My conscience will like,
Eat you alive. Yeah.
I'm not that evil.
Yeah. Now, see, I ain't gonna lie, right? Because after, he was caught, because of course, we didn't know anything about this man until once he was caught, then they had him. His name didn't ring before that. Now, I can't lie and say that had we found out who it was before they caught him.
So that's not, so let's get one thing straight. I said unnecessary chaos and confusion.
That's necessary.
That's very necessary.
And it's a part of being a human, right?
Yeah.
When you're hurt, you wanna
so
give that back in some form.
But what I call unnecessary chaos and confusion is then doing something to one of his family members. That's unnecessary chaos.
Absolutely.
Because
I know this man have daughters and all that,
and they can't feel good about their dad, doing that to another person.
No, I doubt it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can't say that this man mama is happy that he killed a girl. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the full picture, right? Now, the actual person who did it can get pushed off the board with a smile.
Oh yeah, they deserve all the hell in the world,
I'll do it with a smile on my face.
Most definitely.
But nobody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's not their fault. They wasn't there, and that's not, that's not what they did. They're not the culprit.
They probably don't condone it.
But our human, our flesh says, so what? So what? So what? Because their loved one did something to one of my loved ones. So shit, everybody fair game, But that's just a mindset.
Yeah, but
to go through a process.
But
because I went through that.
You can have a thought. You can have the thought. The thoughts are automatic. You are not allowed to act on the thoughts.
Right. Yeah, I can't go to jail and shit.
I don't give a fuck about jail.
I do. I don't look good in orange. You ain't never seen me wear orange.
But it's not the not going to jail part. It's the being a good human.
Yeah.
Anybody can go to jail and adjust. We are humans. We are adaptable. We adjust. When we will adjust to any negative environment around us if we're in it long enough.
Yeah.
That's not a problem.
And see, I think I've thought of, of course you have these thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times I didn't react to certain things when it came to this situation is because I want to be able to see my son again.
Yeah.
Part
of being a good human, right? Thinking about the long game. And so for me, I got 7 grandkids, right? I got 3 other children.
Right.
Well, let me correct that. I got 4 other children because Tammy has a daughter. Okay. And we're getting on good terms. Okay, right. Good. So for the first, we wasn't on good terms.
Okay.
But
y'all getting it together.
Yeah, we getting it together. So
that's what's up.
I got 4 other children, 7 grandchildren, right? And to take myself off the board or to do something crazy and change the trajectory of their life.
Right. And see, everybody don't think like that. Like they be like, shit, I'm finna just jump off the porch. I don't give a fuck who get hurt. They people, my people, it don't matter because that's a selfish thought, right?
But them be the same people that be in court talking about, he was with me. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, you got to understand that it's a different mentality and it's a different level of understanding and responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I am a very responsible person. I'm a very intelligent person.
Right.
And I understand I understand this. Everybody is capable of everything.
If put in a certain positions,
Everybody is capable of everything. Don't think that someone else is not capable of the same thing that you think you capable of, because that would be a mistake.
That's big. Yeah.
That would be a mistake.
And I never thought about it that way either.
And so I've seen some of the smallest people wipe some of the biggest people off the face of the earth, right? Because it don't matter your size. It don't matter. It's what you're willing to do in this moment to go home. The only winner in a war is the one who's willing to inflict the most pain. So we just stay out those type of situations.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'm just gonna keep being a good person. I'm gonna keep going to work. I'm gonna keep texting the few people that I, come across, and we've built these relationships. And I'm gonna keep encouraging us to keep going. But just know, if we over in Walmart or somebody and they say it's a mass shooter, and we gonna get out. Just know we gonna make it home that night.
Absolutely.
So we can go on forever.
Yeah,
hey,
we could. But
this has been a beautiful conversation with the Mrs. Falona, right? I thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm sure they're gonna get something good out of this conversation. And I know I did, because I never thought about the point of view of the impact statement, or after the verdict is read. You know what I mean? That it creates another level of emotions.
It does.
And so I'll encourage you to just keep going, keep pushing. Whenever you get too depressed, go eat you some soul food.
Look, I'm gonna go find me something now. But but seriously, if I could say just, one thing to a parent, that's dealing with this, that's, such as yourself, that's waiting for an upcoming trial and all that, just I wouldn't say expect the worst, but sometimes these don't go how we want them to go. Some people don't get what I got. Just try to just stay encouraged. Just know that there is a God, and He saw, what happened. No child or young adult or whatever, everybody belongs to somebody. Everybody has a parent, everybody has somebody that cares a tremendous amount about them.
Yeah.
And if something is to happen to them, such as their lives being taken, like, that changes everything. It's a whole different ball game, and having to step into a courtroom and see someone that took your child from you. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. You want to do something, yes. It brings about an anger that you probably never thought you had. But there's nothing you can do about it at that point. So just let God come and let Him move and let Him work, and He'll get it done. I believe you will get justice for your daughter as well.
Thank you.
I hope Tina gets justice for Jamal.
Yes.
I know some mothers that didn't get what I got, and my heart goes out to them. But it doesn't stop the love that they had for their child. It just the pain just lasts a little longer, I think, because we want that so bad. Somebody need to pay. At the end of the day, we just want somebody to pay for what they did. So that guy is gonna pay for Nana.
And I sure hope so. I need a 100-year pause in between us seeing each other.
Yeah, and it was hard for my father, and a couple of my male family members, to come in there and see him. I have a cousin that was actually on the other side of this very situation. And he even told that to the advocate one day when he came to court. He said, you know, I've been on the other side of this shit. You know, he said, but to be on this side of it, now I see what I did to that family when I was on the other side of it.
So my empathy has my this situation, me going through this, have raised my empathy towards other people. Like I just said, like just trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that is the conclusion of this episode. We love y'all. Peace.